Hello, back with another video. And I want to talk about this case about this little beautiful little girl, Emani Moss. Uh, I think I'm gonna start doing videos about this because this is a sad case of child abuse that she was failed by her father. But Emani was born April 23rd, 2003. Shortly after she was born, her mother was addicted to drugs, so her mother gave up all her parental rights. And her father, Emani, he gained sole custody of her. Um, he gained sole custody of her. He started taking her to church, and that's where he met Tiffany Mouse, and that's Amani's stepmother. He met her. They got married in 2009, and they had two children of their own, a son and a daughter. Tiffany started being mean and abusing Emani. But it was no indication that she abused her own kids. It was just something about Emani that she didn't like. So she started beating on her. She was beating on her so much where it caused Tiffany to lose her job because she was a preschool teacher. Emani had told the school nurse that she feared going home because she had a bad report card, worrying about what her parents was going to do. So, and she also told the nurse that her stepmother, spanked her with a curtain rod. The nurse found all kinds of bruises on Amani from, whelps from on the arms, back, chest, legs, and shoulders. So Amani was immediately taken to police headquarters. Tiffany admitted beating on Amani and because she failed to do her homework, and she pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 5 years probation as part of the Georgia First Offender Program. That's Tiffany Mouse, the stepmother, and this is right here is Amani's dad, Ahmad Mouse. So she pled guilty as a part of, she got probation. Part of that, the Georgia First Offender Program, she signed a plea deal, went to classes, the case was dismissed. It was dismissed. So in 2010, Emani was taken from her father and stepmother and was placed in her grandmother Robin's home, which that was good for her. Her performance in school started proving, she was looking good, she was eating good, and all that. He fought to get custody back from her, and he got her. The Georgia Family Services returned Imani back to her father, and then all hell broke loose again. The grandmother, Robin, fought to regain custody of her granddaughter, but it failed. She suspected that Imani was being abused, and she told authorities. Prosecutor later argued at the trial in 2010 the abuse incident launched the investigation. This is another case of the system failing kids. This woman Tiffany did not like Imani for some reason. This is a child. She didn't like her. I'm faulting the daddy. The daddy did nothing. The daddy rarely was there. You ain't gonna sit there and tell me he didn't know what was going on. Imani was starved to death. At 13 years old, at the time of her death, she only weighed 32 pounds. Tiffany be in there cooking good meals and stuff, making cookies and all that and stuff. And she wouldn't feed the Monties. And then the daddy come home. So you gonna sit there and tell me that you didn't know what was going on? You allowed this to happen. You allowed this excuse my language, y'all. This bitch of a wife of yours beat your child, starve your child. Really? This case is sad. I mean, I'm just coming across of it this week. When I first did my investigation on it, it will make you cry. Imani didn't deserve this. You didn't want Imani. You should have left over there with her grandma. Her grandma Robin wanted her. Her grandma Robin showed her love. She didn't beat on her. She gave her love. She fed her and all that. You didn't do that. That it was said when she seen to her grandma Robin noticed that her hair was cut and it wasn't looking right. It was uneven. They asked Tiffany, the stepmother. She said, "Well, if you're gonna act ugly, you might as well look ugly." Really, this this whole thing is just sad. Y'all need to do y'all investigation if you want to in this Imani Mouse case. All this happened in Lawrenceville, Georgia. But Tiffany, she was convicted. She represented herself. Dumb move. But anyway, if you would, even if you would have had attorneys and stuff, you still weren't gonna get out of this because it was just too much evidence against you and stuff. She was found guilty of all counts, and she was sentenced to death penalty, which that's what she deserved. The daddy, he was sentenced to life in prison with no parole because you knew what was going on. This is your child. And you did nothing. You let this woman starve your child and beat your child. And on top of that, Emani died of starvation and all of the abuse that she was giving her and stuff. They kept her in a room for a couple of days or whatever. She told the daddy to move her body because she started decomposing. They wrapped her up, moved her body, so he just as much involved. This is your child. But then they was saying that he would come home every day in the room before they moved her body. She was just laying back there in the bed, and he would be back there just weeping and grieving over her. I'm not trying to hear this shit. Excuse my language. These people get these kids, and you got a lot of people out here, y'all, that want kids and can't have kids. Because I got a classmate now that cannot have kids, and she want kids. And when she didn't got a little bit too old now to try to have some kids because we getting on up in age and stuff. I mean, at the age she at now, me and her the same age and stuff. I mean, I think it's a little bit too late to have a child, but I talked to her and I said, well, maybe you can adopt because she cannot have kids. But this is sad. These kids, and Monty didn't ask for this. She would have been better off with her grandmother. Why was she beating on this girl? I don't know. I really don't know. But Tiffany is on death row in Georgia. She's awaiting execution. And that's what she need to be. I think the daddy need to be on death row too because he knew what was going on. This is your child. You let your wife beat on your child, starve your child at the age of 13. No, she was 10. All she weighed was 32 pounds at the age of 10. They say she was skin and bones. I also blame the school. They failed because they seen whelps and stuff and they didn't do nothing. And then, they also took Emani out of school to homeschool her. That's a red flag right there because when kids get a bruise and stuff at home and stuff, they know if they go to school, it's going to be something noticed. So that's when they decide to homeschool them to keep them at home for the teachers and stuff won't get involved. So that's all that was about. They used to move around a lot. That's another red flag for abused kids in the house. Is to keep from the police, coming to their house and checking on them because the police don't have no address to check on the kids. So this case was a hot mess. Poor Emani, you don't have to go through that no more, baby. Rest in peace to you, baby. This is sad. Tiffany even got a nerve to appeal her case and all that. Excuse my language. This case will make you mad. You need to. Yeah, they need to hurry up with your execution. I was one of them ones that didn't believe in the death penalty, but when it comes to a child, this innocent baby, for some reason you didn't like her. For some reason you starving her, you beating her, you cutting her hair, you abusing her and stuff. Yes, you do need the death penalty. You do, chick, because she did not deserve this. The daddy needed the death penalty too. And all the ones that was involved in school and stuff, the school system failed her and stuff. Y'all knew this child was getting beaten. Y'all need to serve time too. Because I'm not going, if that was me, if I see a child that's all beat up and bruised, if a child tell me that, she's scared to go home for a bad report card because she's scared what her parents going to do, I'm going to get involved. I normally don't get involved in stuff, but when it comes to babies, I'm going to get involved. So when people notice that Emani hadn't been seen, they reported her missing, which they knew where she was at all along. She was back there in that room dead, laying in the bed there because she had starved to death. So yeah, this is a sad situation. Even though both of the parents, the dad and the stepmom, is in prison, they still remain married. The two kids that they had together, they lost custody of them and they was adopted by a family. But she never did abuse her kids, but it was just something about Emani she abused. So this, rest in peace to Emani, baby. Baby girl, you didn't deserve this with your pretty self. She did not deserve this. If she would have been still living today, Emani would have been 19 years old. Yeah, she was born in 2003. But this case is sad. I said I was going to do a lot of cases, like crime cases, because I'm into that. But this case right here just broke my heart. It really did, because she didn't deserve that. She didn't. All this happened in Georgia. Georgia is known for failing kids. It's another case that I'm going to do. A little boy named Terrell Peterson. He died in Georgia, where his it was his siblings' grandma that killed him and starved him and beat him to death. And that was another bad case of child abuse. So I hope everybody is having a nice night. It is raining like crazy here where I'm at, but we needed the rain. Yes, I hope everybody's having a nice night. Stay blessed. And I'm out. And that's the end of this video.